Hey everyone, I'm super excited to show you guys today how to use the new Create Sticker feature that Cricut has released. So the Create Sticker feature is an Access exclusive tool. That means you need to be a Cricut Access subscriber in order to cut a project using this feature. Now you can play around with this feature. You don't need access to check it out and see if you like it, but you do need it to cut it. So keep that in mind. So today I'm going to show you how it works, and there's a few different ways to do things. You'll see once I explain it more. So I'm just going to show you guys a little bit more. Now I am loading a project that I have already set up. I did that because it took me a little while to pick the fonts that I like and the images that I like. I know we all have that problem. So it is just loading up for us right now. I hid the project so it won't come up on the canvas, but I am going to give it a second to load. Now, while I do that, I'm going to show you guys today how to use shapes, just to show you guys some visuals on how Create Sticker works. Then I'm going to show you how to search for printable images under the images section. And then I'm going to show you guys how to use Create Sticker for the image that I already put together, which is a mixture of images and text. Okay, so I'm going to click over here first on the shapes icon and pull that up. Now I'm just doing this just to show you guys how it works visually. I feel like it's much easier to see it this way. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so it's easier for you guys to see. And I'm going to change the color up here to something a little bit lighter. Okay, so you'll see Create Sticker right up here in our Edit toolbar. And it is in beta, so you see that. You do need to be in beta. To do that, I will provide a link on how to switch to beta for you guys if you don't already know how. And then it will kind of give you a little description and then check it out. So we're going to check it out. Now, you can die cut or you can kiss cut. Now, there's a brief explanation on which each one means, but within the kiss cut, which is what I'm going to do, you can also die cut the edge. So here we have our little border, our circle, and we can click a border. So we can do a thin border. It defaults to no border. So we can do a thin border, which I don't. Let's see. Okay. And then you can change your border fill right here. So it gives you black and white, but then you can click this, and you're going to get your fill here. You can go back, and then that's a thin border, and then you have a standard border. Now this is all kiss cut, so keep that in mind. And then we have wide, or you can do custom. So say you're working on stickers and you need the kiss cut to be 3 inches wider than your circle. You can go in, let's actually see, can we go as high as 3 inches? Nope, 1 inch is the highest we can go. But just so you know, you can do a custom amount. So we'll leave it at 1 inch, and then say you want to die cut the edge, we'll toggle that on, and then it's going to add a die cut and cut all the way through, so that it's, create an easy peel with an additional border and cut that goes all the way around the liner. So you have that option as well. So you can click apply, and it applies everything together. Okay, now you'll see I'm getting a little warning here. That's because my image is too large for print then cut, and I can choose to auto resize the image, but I don't want to. This is just to show you guys. If you do get an error, just check there, it will show you. So now you can see how this white line right here is between these two black lines. That is our die cut. So we have our kiss cut here. It will kiss cut around this white line, and then it will die cut around the outermost circle. So that's just briefly how it works. Now I can get rid of that, and then we can do the same option if we just wanted to straight die cut. We can go to Create Sticker and just choose die cut, and then you have the same options with your borders, thin, standard, wide, and custom. And you can, once you change the the thickness of your border if you do want a die cut for that. This is where you can change your border fill and you'll be able to apply. Okay, now say we want to go into images. We're not really sure what we're looking for, so we're going to do browse all images. And then we go right down here a little bit to operation type. And then we can do print then cut. So that's going to bring up all images that are print then cut only. It doesn't have any other operation type, just print then cut. So you can go through here and scroll and see what the options are. But for me, I'm going to go to bookmarked because I've already bookmarked some that I really liked. So that's going to filter it even further for me. So you can see how all these images here have these little green flags filled in. So it will show you how to do that. Now we'll scroll down. We'll do this little carriage, cart full of toys image right here. So we're going to do it and it's going to add to canvas. And you can see this has a black line already around it because that's our cut line. So what we're going to do, oh, it's already added to canvas, so we'll view it here. So cutting all the way around that is what it's going to do. Now, say we want that to do a kiss cut, okay? So what we'll do is we'll wait for it to load. I am running beta and my computer is not plugged in, so it is taking a bit longer to do everything because it's really sucking up my battery, but let that load. All right, so now we have two of them here. I'm going to keep both, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the color of my canvas so we can see a little bit better. So I have a blank canvas right here, click that, and then this little color box will come up here, and I'm going to just change it to like a green color so we can see this outline of our image. Okay, so say right here, we want this to be a kiss cut. So we are going to leave the border at none. It's telling it right now, we already know that we want this as a kiss cut. I don't want to change anything because it already has that offset around it. So now we click die cut, and that's going to add that additional border around it for us. Now I'm leaving it white. Well, it looks like we don't have the option to change it. So I'm leaving it as white anyway. If we do have the option to change it further down the road, leave it as white because your printer's not going to print that. And then we'll click apply. Okay, now say we want this one to die cut. Actually, I'm going to just delete this one. So now we have this right here, and you'll see it moves as one piece, okay? And if I click in the layers panel, if I just click on the cart full of toys image, it shows just that layer. But if I click on the sticker layer that's labeled right there, it shows my die cut too. Now you'll notice that both are selected, and if I click off of it and highlight both are selected again, and flatten is not an option. That's because you need to flatten for print and cut anyway, so Cricut knows that that's what you're going to do. So if we click make, it's already flattened for you. So once you click make, it's ready to go. Alrighty. So I'm going to click cancel here, and I'm actually going to be using my Joy Extra today. So I noticed my machine family is set to Venture. I'm going to switch it over to Joy Extra, and then I'm going to show you guys how I'm doing this little sticker here. I'm going to change my canvas back to white. Okay, so a couple things that I did with this. I'm going to zoom in for you guys to show you. Okay, so I grouped it all together. I'm going to ungroup it, and I'm going to change my text to black, and then everything else is good. So once I add the background to this, which is going to be white, it's going to be difficult to see the elements of my sticker here. So my Santa hat here. So what I'm going to do is under basic operation, I'm going to change it to print then cut. It's going to remove those black cut lines so I can see exactly what it's going to show. Now for me, I want it to have somewhat of a border. So I am going to add an offset here, and I'm just doing like a really, really thin one. So like 0.05. I don't even like 0.2. I just want a really, really thin 0.1. really thin outline. So I'm going to click apply, and I'm going to make sure it's set to black, which it looks like it is. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything here. Now instead of going to offset and playing around with all of it, I'm going to do create sticker. Now I just want these to be kiss cut. I'm making a whole sheet of them for my neighbor for her packages. So I'm going to just kiss cut. Now I don't know how big I want my border, so I'm going to play around with it. So I'm going to go to wide first and see what I think about that. Is it going to cover enough for me? Is it exactly what I want? Now, also here, I'm going to have some shapes like inside, I think, because it's not going to cover everything. So I can click this option and it will cut those shapes out. That's not what I want to do, so I'm not going to toggle that on. But there are some people who want, those pieces cut out, so you could toggle that on if you wanted to. Now, I feel like this is a little bit larger than I need, so I'm going to go back and do the custom option, and I'm going to change it to like 0.75, see how 3/4 of an inch looks, and see if that works for me. And you can see how all of my cut lines around my snowflakes and my Santa Claus are all now gone. They're not, you don't have that black line around it for the cut line because those aren't going to cut out. This has already been all converted to print and cut, and Create Sticker has done that for me. So while this loads up, I'm going to see how many I can fit on a sheet of paper overall. I have to check my overall thing. I'm using the, I'm going to do it 1/2 inch. I am using the Printable waterproof sticker set, and I'm using the white with the holographic overlay. I just think they'll be so cute for these packages, for these stickers. So that is what I'm going to use today. Now, it is a sheet of printable vinyl with a holographic overlay in the package. So I'm going to send this to my printer off camera, and then when it comes back, I will show you guys how to apply that overlay. It's actually really easy. Okay, this is... I don't think that's quite changing. It looks like it's about the same. Alright, let me do thin. And I have my border fill color already set to white. Alright, so this is not changing for me. I know this is in beta and it was just released, so it might take a second. So you can see now, I had clicked back, so now all those black cut lines are back around my snowflakes. So you guys can see how that works. That's pretty cool. Alright, let me go ahead and restart this and I'll come back. Okay, so I restarted, I'm back. Now I just chose standard, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to click apply. I'm not die cutting and I'm not cutting any interior shapes. Actually, let's turn this on and show you. Let's see. All right, it doesn't show us any, so it doesn't look like there's any in there. Okay, so I'm going to click apply. Again, this is already flattened for us. So overall, with the sticker element added, it is a 3.1 inch wide cut. So I'm actually going to change it to 3 inches. So about 3 inches by 2.5. And then I'm going to save it. I always click save, especially when I'm doing print and cut, because if I print this and my computer dies or something happens, I can come back in and still cut what I already printed, so I didn't waste any materials. So always save anyway, but definitely before print and cut. And then if you want to make any edits, Create Sticker now changes to Edit Sticker. Okay, so I'm going to click make, and I'm going to make project copies here. I want to fill up the whole page, so I think I can fit... I think I can fit 6. Let's see if I can fit a little bit more. Let's see how many I can fit on here. I might be able to fit 8. I'm doing really quick math here, guys, so let's just see If I can squeeze any more in there. You know what? I think we're going to change it to 8. And then I think we can just maneuver a little bit. Now you can see we have these black cut lines around our image because that's where it's going to cut. So that's really, really helpful because now I'm going to do this where I move these around. Now I'm going to move it outside of the fiducial area, but it's going to line it up. It's going to pull it back in. Watch it snap back in within those lines. So I love that because then I don't have to worry that I'm getting it really close or exact or perfect. So I'm just going to move these around a bit so that they fit. I can fit all of them in here. I think I should be able to fit 8. We're going to make it work, guys. We're just going to maneuver around. Maybe not. I had hopes. All right, we're just going to change it back to 6 and go with that. I'm going to click apply, and then I'm going to click continue. And it's going to find my Joy Extra, and I already have it set to Kiss Cut, so I'll just choose my material, and it already knows to do that. So what I'm going to do is send to printer. Now, you don't have to wait for your machine to load up to send it to printer. 2 things that we're going to do here. We're going to leave the bleed on for accurate cuts, and we're going to use the system dialog. That system dialog is going to open our actual printer settings. And something I want to point out here, because I've seen a lot of people confused lately, you can see how over to the side here, my fiducials are, these corner black marks are much further out than they are here. So you can see how I was moving them around on the last page. They stay out wide because that is the full area that we have to print and cut. So I can move stuff around, I can fit as many as I can, and then once I go to print it, those are going to move up into the printable area to save as much of the material as it can. So I'm going to click Use System Dialog and click Print. Now that's going to open up my printer settings. I have an Epson Eco Tank. It is an older one. So it's going to open up my Epson printer settings so that I can go in and get the exact settings that I want for my printer. Not just whatever like the default is that it comes with. So my printer's already selected. I'm going to pick preferences. Now I just leave it on the regular paper setting, but I change the quality to high. Now this might be different for your printer. Please play around with it and make sure that you do tests and find your best setting, especially for different materials. Then we're going to click print. That's going to send it to my printer. So while I wait for that to print out, I am going to choose my setting in here. And it's going to be Printable Waterproof Sticker Set. It's going to go through. Once it comes up, Printable Waterproof Sticker Set White Holographic. That is what I'm using. I have it favorited because it's one of my most used materials. Actually, I don't. I should. It knows that we're using a sticker material. Okay, so note, settings for create sticker feature only. Before cutting, apply laminate sheet over printed sticker sheet. If you want to learn more, you can go here. And then the Kiss Cut pressure is set to default, but you can change it to more and less right here. So I'm going to go ahead, wait for that to print out, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so I printed everything. Now I'm using the Joy Extra, so I will have to come back to Design Space to click go, and then I'll have to come back to unload it, but I'm not going to show that to you guys because if you already have the machine, you know. But let's switch over to my camera. I'll show you how to apply the holographic overlay, and then we'll cut them. Okay, so I printed my design here. I have a green mat I'm using, and then I have my waterproof sticker paper pack here. Now, it does come with the holographic overlay inside. So I'm going to pull that out separately. It says vinyl laminate on the back, so you know the difference between the sheets. I'm going to put on my Bright 360, see if we can get a little bit more light for this part, just to show you guys. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is if you want to know any information, you can scan the QR code, but I already know how to use it. So what I'm going to do is there's this, you'll see it's kind of like separated here. This strip at the top comes off to help you apply it here evenly and cleanly without wrinkles. So I'm going to put this back just a little bit. Okay, so what I did is I pulled that top off, and now I'm going to pull it a little closer to me, but still on camera. I'm going to line it up with the edges at the top and the side edges here with my sticker sheet, okay? And I'm going to press that down. I want to make sure it's on there nice and firmly, okay? Now I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to start to peel this backing just a little bit, not all the way. And then I'm going to take I have the extra large scraper. You can use like a gift card, credit card, whatever. And I'm going to slowly work it onto here. This is preventing bubbles. Okay. And then once we get it down far enough, you're going to be able to just kind of push it without having to peel the backing too. And this also helps, okay, it go on nice and smooth. All right, and we're just going to push that backing right off. So it is a little bit stiffer now. You can kind of see how it's curling up on my desk here. So that's why I use the green mat to make sure it holds it down really well. Now I'm going to take off my protective cover and put it aside. And I'm going to line it up on my mat. Okay. Now it's a pretty new mat. I've only used it a few times, so and I'm not going to use my brayer. It should hold just fine. I'm going to pull my extra out a little bit more. Okay, and this is an auto feed, so as soon as I butt it up against the rollers, it's going to feed it in for me. Now remember, we're doing a kiss cut, so it's not cutting all the way through. I'm going to wait for it to load. I'm going to go back to Design Space, and when it prompts me to, I'm going to click go. So I'm going to let it's going to go through, it's going to scan. I'm actually going to turn off my Bright 360 for this. When I calibrated my machine, it wasn't on, so I like to keep the same light settings just to make sure everything cuts well. So it's going to read those registration marks, those corner fiducials for us, and then it's going to start our cut. And then when it's done, I'll unload it and we'll peel that kiss cut off. Now, if you wanted to do a die cut for these, you can. But for me, I find something like this where I'm going to peel them, or my neighbor's going to peel them off and stick them on stuff. It will be easier for her to do that if just having them on a sheet instead of trying to, peel them one at a time and all of that. So we're going to go ahead and let this cut. And remember, it's just cutting around the images here. And it's just doing a kiss cut, so it's just cutting through the laminate and the vinyl. It's not cutting through the back. So I'm going to let that go through, and then I'll come back when it's almost done. Okay, so it's done with my kiss cut. I'm going to go back into Design Space to unload my mat. And I'm just going to push this back. Now, what I do when I take any material off the mat is I flip my mat over and I work my material off the mat. I find this helps with any curling, and I hold my material down like this as I peel the mat, and your mats can break. I've broken a few, so be careful not to bend it too much. Now the first thing I do is put this protective sheet back on. My cats love my craft room, and they just happen to like to sit directly on my mat. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm going to take my weeding tool and I'm going to peel up this edge here, and I'm going to just pop these right out. Now I did do a kiss cut, but I can see I maybe needed a little bit more pressure there, so that's okay. I'm going to just peel these off this way. Okay. I like to go at different angles to make sure that I get around all these little sharper corners. All right. Now I can see I do have some pieces left here just from around it. So I'm just going to kind of use my weeding tool to cut around it. And then these are ready to go. Okay. So I can just go ahead and peel this right off, and I have a sticker perfect and ready to go. If you got, and let me see if I turn on my light, can we, no, I do have some stray pieces here. I can't really see, can we get that holographic effect? It is hard to see. Oh, there we go, kinda. But I'll take a good picture and show you guys. If you have any questions, let me know.